Hi everyone and welcome to OK Seriously with Natasha, a show specifically created to be an open platform where anything goes. I am your host, Natasha Jameson. This is my passion and I hope that I inspire you to live your own. We are excited to welcome Nutritionist and co-founder of Elite Power Performance, Claudia Beaule. She is here to inspire us with her passionate pursuit for fitness and nutrition. Claudia will help us understand how proper fuels our body can positively impact our goals at any fitness level. Did I mention she works for the Canadian Armed Forces and competes at the highest levels in jiu-jitsu? On that note, Claudia, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Natasha.
Absolute pleasure. I am really excited about our show today because every single journey begins with a single step. And during COVID, our normal has changed.
That's correct.
So this is very, very beneficial. I always have an intention for the show, and my intention is to help people take that first step.
Let's help them.
Absolutely. So I find you incredibly interesting and fascinating, hence why you're on the show. So I want to go diving right into it by talking about you working for the Canadian Armed Forces. How did that come to be?
Well, I was living in Quebec, and as life goes on, you surround yourself with different people, and I had people around me that were in the Canadian Armed Forces. I looked at what their lifestyle was like, and back then I was a teacher.
Oh, I see.
So I looked into what could be in link with that in the Canadian Armed Forces, so I can combine my passion for fitness, which I could see with the people that I was surrounded with, and also my experience in teaching. So I looked it up and found that I could be a training development officer.
That's amazing. Who would have thought that would align for you, but the network of people around you helped you kind of experience that, so you were able to transition.
Yes.
So where did the passion and interest in jiu-jitsu come from?
These same people were also martial artists.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So just by playing, being surrounded with them, watching the UFC, and seeing the discipline and the fitness level that was required for that sport interested me. And I just walked in the gym and tried it out.
Fearless.
And trying was addicting.
I love that. I love that you were able to kind of like be open to something, because jiu-jitsu is a little different. It's like no striking, it's more about control, right?
That's correct.
So it's very, very different than a different martial art. How did you get involved in high-level competitions then? So you were interested in jiu-jitsu, and then you took it, on the larger stage, for lack of a better word.
Well, that's not how it starts. Every journey starts little by little, right? So I started by practicing, and eventually there was just a local competition. I signed up for it, not even knowing what I was getting myself into, and performed well and just continued training. And for me, it's just like the icing on the cake to compete. So I just practice and then go test myself.
I think that's amazing. How long did it take before you felt like more confident to compete? Did it take like a little bit of, was it like a short time period, longer time period?
I've always been a competitor in other sports
didn't phase
prior,
you.
So no, it took me 6 months to enroll in my first competition.
Well, look at you. Amazing. Look at her. It's amazing. So what is the commonality between, you were saying like teaching, you found like some similar qualities between, teaching in the elementary school or high school levels and then teaching soldiers. How does that kind of correlate?
Teaching is teaching. It's sharing knowledge, and it's sharing a passion. It's guiding people. So it doesn't matter really where you're doing it. I'm doing pretty much the same thing here. I'm a guest in your show, but I'm also teaching in a way because I'm sharing knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a commonality in both of them.
Yes. Well, that's really, really interesting, because you're right. It is people. It's about sharing. It's about an interest and helping people pursue their dreams and goals. But more recently, this is very exciting, more recently you have transformed your vast experience into a business venture by completing the nutrition coach qualifications with Precision Nutrition. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And I want to know about your new venture, Elite Power Performance.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
The name of our business. And it's again about sharing knowledge. Always been into the sports, and comes to find out as the years grows and my knowledge increased that nutrition is 70% of your venture. So for me, it became very important to have the proper knowledge, and I gained it with this certification, and we decided to open up a small business for now. We don't know where it's going to lead us, but it's about sharing the knowledge of how people can start and get a better health. It's not only about looking good.
Right. Feeling
good is so much more important.
Being in optimal health, achieving maybe some goals, because everybody has a different set of goals. Like, their body weight is very, very different. It's a different feeling. It's a different perspective. And a change in mindset. I would assume that you also tackle all those components as well.
That's correct. So I look at it in a deep health perspective.
Yeah.
So stress, sleep, eating.
That's true.
And, obviously moving. So workout as well.
So you have to kind of have like an analysis. You have like a one-on-one where you kind of create some sort of a plan for, your clients.
Well, it's a one-on-two because this business is co-founded with my husband.
Yes.
And he's taking care of the training aspect of it, where I'm focusing on the nutrition aspect.
But you guys work together.
We work together. So as a customer, you get two codes for the price of one.
Because it's really important. It is a balance. But I was really shocked to hear that 70% of what our food intake, kind of contributes to weight loss, weight gain. I thought it was more balanced, to be honest.
No, well, there's a lot of shows out there, that survival show that you look at, where people don't train, and because they lack food, they lose weight, right? So the principle is very simple. It's calories in versus calories out. And the calories out is where we're going to play with the fitness, the training a little bit. But the calories in are 70% for sure, because even if you're not training, your body is alive. Your body is burning calories. Even when you're sleeping, Natasha, your body is burning calories.
Absolutely.
Not as much, obviously.
Yeah, I just was so surprised. I thought it was a little bit more balanced, but it makes perfect sense to what you're saying. You have to be in deficit.
To lose weight, you have to be in deficit. But some people want to gain weight.
More muscle, more definition, more endurance, and a variety of other things. One of your fundamental principles is that investing in yourself is crucial because you only get one body, so you need to take really good care of it.
That's correct.
So can you tell us why this is the core of overall wellness? I'm assuming that you and Adrian, which is your husband, talk about this at great length with your customers.
It's super important because a lot of people are out there, and us as well, we want to help people. Well, if we're not healthy ourselves, how we're going to be able to help other people?
Right.
Even this principle is super important when I deal with moms, because as a mom, what's your priorities?
It's not
kids.
you.
It's your kids.
No, that's right.
But what happens if you churn with the years, obese and morbidly obese, and you pass and your kids are no longer there?
That's right.
To live with their mom. So you have to put yourself first.
You do. And they watch you.
And they watch you. And if you put yourself first, whatever you put in your body will more likely influence them.
Right.
So,
and they'll take care of themselves and have a more healthy way of living and being and lifestyle.
You are a role model.
You're absolutely right, especially both parents, but the same-sex parent even more so, because they will mimic what you do or not do. Exactly. So it's very important. So I'm so glad, because a lot of people I know as moms, most of us are moms or dads or parents, even if you're not, everything else takes precedent. But you should be number one.
You should be number one forever. You're the most important person, and that's why I tell all my customers.
I think that's really good. That's like a whole flip in mindset.
That's difficult, but
it is difficult, but it's very doable. Little steps, right? Little small steps.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the worst misconceptions when it comes to nutrition? I think so many people think that one way of eating fits all. It's not true.
That's not true. There's so many fad diet out there, and that's one of the big misconceptions. People want to find what works for them. What's the special diet? What's the magic pill?
Magic.
And that turns into being emotional eating.
Yes, it does.
And it's not emotion. It's science.
Yeah.
Nutrition is science. So that's the biggest misconception that's out there, is that an emotional choice will eventually work for you.
Yeah.
It won't. There's fact. Calories in versus calories out. There's never one time where 2 minus 1 didn't equal 1.
Right. So what do you say with somebody that has those issues? I have been there myself, an emotional eater. You stuff those feelings down. How would you even navigate that? Do you deal with their problem first before you take them to the next step? Do they have to deal with that first?
Well,
with the underlying?
We have to get there, obviously. But it's gonna only, I'm gonna say, unroot, is that a word? Unroot itself by adding more knowledge.
Right.
So very rarely I'm going to try to take something away from someone.
Okay.
Either that it's food, either that it's knowledge. I'm always going to add, and when you add something, then the bad is coming out. So.
Right, because you're getting full of knowledge and more facts and information, more process, I guess would happen.
Exactly.
More mindfulness. I always start my show, we were talking about this before the show started, with an intention.
Yes.
This show is to help everyone.
Yes.
And I know that you being here is going to help so many people because COVID's a real thing and a lot of people are working from home and the fridge is right there.
That's correct.
And it's so easy just to kind of be bored and really stressed and eat. So that is my intention, is to help people. What is the first question that you ask your clients when they seek out your services? So you have a consultation. What's the very first thing?
What's your routine like? What's your routine in terms of activities? And what's your routine in terms of eating? So more likely it's going to be, I'm going to have maybe 50% of the information when I ask that question because they never stopped and look at what their life is like.
Oh.
So I'm going to take some notes, but I'm going to leave you with a homework. And I'm going to ask you to write a journal and to snap some picture of everything you're eating. And we're going to be able to analyze where you're starting from.
Right.
Because a lot of people say, I eat healthy, and I'm not losing weight.
A picture never lies.
A picture never lies.
A picture never lies.
That's correct. And too much is too much.
Yeah,
if you're eating like simply fruits and vegetables, let's say you're a vegetarian, but you eat too much.
Yeah.
Calories in, calories out.
It's always about that.
It's
always about
it's
that.
the core.
Yes.
It's the core. There's much more layers,
of course.
but that's the core. It's just not going to lie.
Yeah, absolutely. On this show, I love helping people change their mindset. We talked quite a bit about that today. Their lives like right now. What are some of the things that our guests can implement, or our viewers, can implement to make like a change like right now? Can they take some notes? Can they maybe take some pictures? Like what can they do as they're watching us today?
Exactly what you've mentioned and what we just talked about in the previous question. So take notes, educate yourself, and
be honest with yourself, maybe?
Be honest with yourself, but Google is also your best friend.
Okay.
Look up what's the nutrition content of what you eat. And I'm going to say, my best tip for you right now is try to eat the less processed food possible.
Less processed.
So don't take your chicken in a box in the freezer at the grocery store.
Right.
Go in the meat section and take chicken that has been the less processed and cook it yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Or if you have to grab on the go, like something like a rotisserie chicken.
Absolutely.
With a salad, something like that as an alternative.
It still looks like chicken. It's not like a square that's been mishmashed and pressed and put in a box and frozen.
That's true.
It still looks like a chicken.
Yeah.
So the less processed food possible because it still has its nutrient. The processed food that you take in the aisle, in the box or in the freezer has been strip off those nutrients.
All those nutrients and
And
vitamins.
that's why you're still hungry when you eat those.
Makes sense.
Hasn't been feeding your body.
Yeah. So you're always in like that starvation mode because you're not getting what your body's like needing and requiring.
And you're full of calories.
Full of
because
calories.
I've added so many different things in there for conservation.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, and longevity on the shelf.
That's correct.
In general, what is the biggest issue you see with your clients when they come to their diets? So they come to you, they're telling you this, maybe they've had some pictures or something that they wrote down. Is it like the volume of food? Is it like the sugar? Is it the type of foods that they're selecting? What is like the biggest one?
Well, everybody's different, but the one that I see common to everybody is they're not eating enough protein. They're not eating enough protein, and the protein is what's going to give you satiety, that's not going to leave you hungry. And I compare the protein to the carpenter. So your protein in your body is what's going to take care of your bone, your muscle, and it's going to repair you and make you ready for your next day always. Where the sugar and the fat are your two different type of energy. So what I see the most is that they don't have enough protein. So what's happening in your body is that the sugar and the fat needs to be borrowed, but that's not their job. So they're not doing it well enough. And then it leaves you hungry. And it's
such a, it's slippery slope.
Exactly. It makes
up and down.
you feel like a roller coaster as well.
Oh my goodness.
That's one thing, and I would like to add the other thing is most of people don't drink enough water.
Water. So you're the standard 8 to 12 glasses, or is it more for you? Or
well, it depends on what you do during the day, and it depends on the temperature, right?
Yeah. So more.
I would say a minimum of 2 liters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You should drink water most of the time, where a lot of people are going to drink
pop
or juice,
which is full of calories and sugars,
but still leaves you hungry.
That's right. Because it spikes all the insulin and blood sugar levels in your body. So then you want more and more and more. And like we said, it's a very, very vicious cycle.
It is.
What are your thoughts? We talked a little bit about this, about portion control and still feeling hungry. So now you're saying protein. You need to have enough protein in your diet. Do most people think that they are consuming enough for them, and then they're like wondering why they're still feeling hungry?
I'm not sure what's their thoughts, but the reason why you're still hungry and you're trying to control your intake is that you're not choosing the proper foods. And I'm going to go back to the less processed foods. It's a combination of all of those answers together. Yeah, sure. If you choose proper carbs, and I'm going to choose examples, sweet potato, brown rice, sprouted bread is another good one, where the sugar content is low, the fiber content is higher, it's going to leave you full.
For longer.
So you're not going to feel hungry. But if you decide that your carb is going to be chocolate or chips or popcorn, well, you can eat all day of those.
Just keep spiking up and then crashing.
Exactly. So it's super important that you eat proper food where it's like less processed, and also stop to look at food as good food or bad food.
That's right.
There's no bad food.
Yeah. Moderation.
There's food you should eat less of.
That's true. That's very true. I think that's a great starting point. Like, don't think of it as good and bad. Yeah. Try to cut back, and that's like a start. It's a step. And then you can, build on that step.
Exactly.
How do you encourage your clients to start small and move from there? We talked about that a little bit. And how important it is to enjoy your workout. So as far as like working out and nutrition, you start small, even like a workout. It doesn't have to be an hour at first. You build.
Exactly. You have to build. I mean, look at all the people that are going to the Olympics this summer.
That's right.
How long have they been training? They've been training forever. Right. And you can't look at the peak because that's going to be so discouraging.
Little steps.
Look at the steps in front of you and just keep on going. Consistency is a big factor. And it's important to find the sports that you like.
I agree.
Whether it's walking, whether it's jogging, skipping,
dancing, anything.
Find something you like and just keep on moving. It did not take you 24 hours to get to the point where you're at right now.
That's true.
So it won't take 24 hours.
Yeah. So celebrate the small steps, and any step is in the right direction that you put action to. And if you enjoy it, you're going to want to do it more.
Exactly.
And you'll see the progress, I'm assuming.
And it's the same thing for the foods.
That's true.
So when I build a plan, I'm going to ask you as a first question, show me what you eat. If you don't eat oatmeal because you can't eat it, you don't like it, I'm not going to give you oatmeal. I'm going to start with what you like, and we're going to add a little bit at a time.
I like that because that feels very doable for people. If somebody has 50 pounds to lose and it seems like a huge mountain to climb, you want to say, no, we're just going to start here and we're going to try to aim for 5 pounds maybe. And then we go from there. Then we have another goal. So setting little small goals creates success. Let me ask you this. What do your clients expect from a coach? I'm sure that they have different expectations from you and Adrienne. So what do they expect?
Most of the people will expect, thank you.
Yeah.
Result yesterday.
Not even today, yesterday.
Yesterday. So I'm going to tell you what you should be expecting from a coach.
Fair enough. Yes, I love that.
You should be expecting a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And the truth. The harsh truth. I'm not here to be your friends because you have lots around and you don't need to pay for them.
That's right.
You're hiring a nutrition coach and you want that person to tell you the truth and to lead you to where you want to be.
Right.
So be patient and expect a lot of questions.
Yeah. And be truthful and honest because you're there to support and help them. Because if you lie, you're only lying to yourself.
Exactly.
So ultimately you have to go in with the right mindset and just be open to, start baby steps, but engage and be like, you guys are working together as a team. Yeah, they have to trust you.
Exactly.
How can those of us looking to transform our bodies and health approach a lifestyle change? What does it take? A total lifestyle change.
You need to be ready, willing, and able to do it.
So ready, like you've already done the work, like you know that you need to make a change?
You need to have come to the conclusion that it needs to happen, and you're ready. You know things will change, because we all want change, but when it's time to change, as a human, we're all refractor. Is that the word? Like we want to okay, people can change, but I don't want to change.
Yes. So we're very resistant to that.
Resistant, thank you. So you have to be ready. You have to be willing to do it, because I'm gonna come and give you some homework.
Yes.
As simple as I need you to take a picture of your food.
Yeah.
Are you willing to do it? How am I going to help you if I don't know where you're starting from?
That's right.
And you have to be able to do it as well. And that's where we're going to work together as well. Because if you're on the road, you're a truck driver, and you can't cook.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to work together, but you need to be able to make some changes.
Right. Like a meal prep as an example or something? Like
if the meal prep doesn't work for you, maybe I'm going to give you other suggestions.
Oh, I see.
But you have to be able to get there.
To implement it.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
You have to work with me for me to work with you.
That makes sense, because you're a team at that point.
Exactly.
What are the factors needed to be in place before you can start seeing results? So they've met you, they've had a consultation, now you're working towards that. So what are some of those factors that, result in change?
I think that having a supportive environment is very, very important. So
like your home environment, friends, home?
All of that.
All of that
so your home, if it's full of chips and chocolate, those are just the easy one to say. Well, if they're there and they're available, you're more likely to eat it.
That's true.
Right? So having a supportive environment, having the right food in your fridge is going to make it better. Having a supportive people around you. If you're the only one that eat healthy, not only that people around you eat Harvey's, but they're eating your favorite fast food, and then they're also making fun of you because you're eating healthy, then it's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work.
So your environments need to be supportive, and you need to have like a team around you. If they want to continue to eat their Harvey's, perhaps they're going to eat it before you get back from work.
That's true. So you can have like a different relationship. The relationship will change. You don't have to join them in the food because you're on like a different path, but you can still be friends. And having an accountability coach.
That's
right.
Correct.
Somebody that you can touch base and saying, I'm feeling a certain way. I don't feel supported. And then you just get like positive, feedback and reinforcement.
Absolutely. And that's where we come in. Yes.
Absolutely. Like you have both aspects to that. When someone achieves their goals, why is it more impactful for those around them to do the same? So you've achieved your goals. All of a sudden, it's possible. It's doable. So like, what is the kind of mindset, and how does that happen for people? Because you can talk and talk and talk, but until you physically see it sometimes.
It talks for itself, because you feel better, and you become like a positive role model. You put yourself first, and then you're out there and you're ready to help other people.
Yes, that's true.
So it's just,
you inspire them. Maybe they feel like your energy level has changed. You look more vibrant. You feel better.
If she's done it, I can do it too.
That's true. It's possible. It becomes in the realm of possibility. And I want to know, what is the best thing about what you do and why? I can only imagine. It must feel amazing.
It feels amazing. Yeah. It's an inspiration. And I love when my customer gets to their goal, obviously.
I love that.
But the icing on the cake is when I see people around them that I haven't even worked with change their life because of that one person I work with.
I love that.
So I'm here to share the knowledge, and for you to share that knowledge. So I do have a customer that was working with me, and her daughter was also overweight, and she lost 50 pounds in 3 months.
Are you kidding me?
Because the mom was a role model.
I love it.
She was cooking, she was feeding her daughter different foods, she was being active, her daughter was following her.
That's good.
It was the best feeling in the world.
I can only imagine, thanks to people like you.
It's
It's great, because sometimes you don't feel like you can do it, and sometimes you need to reach out for help and support, and it's available, thank goodness, to people in the forms of a coach or friends or your family. But sometimes they need that person to hold them accountable, that nutrition coach to say, show me what happened today. You had a bad day, but that doesn't mean that you have to keep dipping down. You just change the rest of your course.
And it's not about just the physical, but it's to see that person being healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy it's a feeling I feel.
Yes.
It's like you radiate a feeling. It feels a certain way, and then you just kind of follow because you want to keep repeating that feeling. You want to consistently maintain it. Yeah, exactly. Now, I know you've seen my show before, so you must know what my last question is.
Go ahead.
The takeaway. My viewers love it, so I'm asking. What is the takeaway for our amazing viewers watching you today?
So,
a couple points.
Well, first is take a look at yourself. Take a look at what you eat. Take a look at what you do. Take notes. Write it down. Take pictures. Do it for a few days, not just one day. You may have a bad day, and that's okay.
That's okay.
And you may have an extra good day, but it doesn't reflect your real life. Yeah. So if you have to do it for a week, do it for a week, and then take a moment with yourself. Invest in yourself. You're the most important person.
Absolutely.
So take a look at what you're doing and reach for some help. You do have people, if it's not a nutrition coach, you do have people around you that knows stuff about training, that knows stuff about nutrition, or reach out to us, and we're going to help you adding knowledge and change one thing.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
change one thing next week until it becomes a habit.
That's right.
And you're not even going to notice it changed because we're not just going to say stop what you do and change all of this and it's going to look like head rest, right? So my point for you is invest in yourself.
I love that. I think that is the best tip. Invest in yourself because you're worth it. You're number one. You're the most important. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you for having me.
It was my pleasure to have your incredible expertise here. I wish you the best of luck on your new venture, and I know you'll be incredibly successful. Our viewers will reach out for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our program on YouTube. And until next time, bye.